All right, so we've set up the camera and we set up audio for it, and let's just have a quick listen to it.
So just real quick before we start though, so it's the same thing. The USB is powering the unit. You will have audio and MIDI through USB as well, so it easily connects to your DAW. We have the stereo mini jack connected for the audio output, and so now
Here we
we're
go.
ready to go.
So let's have a listen. And these are just some of the patterns that came in it. So we're on the square wave. Throw some envelope mod in it. Okay. Right off the bat, I can tell it looks like it programs just like the original 303. The same way with the 909. There might be a little thing here or there, but for all intents and purposes, it looks like it programs like a 303. So.
Now, I personally never owned a 303. I did get to work with them, and I used them on many tracks. But the one thing that always confused me back then was how to program it.
There's a couple of different ways to do it. You got I always like the step time because I always feel like, for me, I always got more happy accidents programming stuff by step, and you can tap it in as well. But for me, I always liked programming it in step mode. So let's just see if it does work the same way. So we're going to put it in write mode. We're going to go to pattern bank number 1. I'm going to select pattern number 1 and hit clear.
And again, we haven't even, we showed you the manual, but we haven't taken a look at how to, there might be some mistakes and some hiccups here and there, but.
So that should clear it, which it looks like it did. We will put it in pitch mode, and pitch mode is where you input the notes. So, oh, that's cool. So I'm stepping through, I don't hear the notes though. Let's see if something. Right. So I think so we'll go into pitch mode, and this is where you enter the notes. And it's stepping through the notes, which is so you can actually see where you are, because I'm always so used to counting it in my head. And so we've got the notes in here, and then we just need to program the time. So I'm just going to put straight 16th notes in here.
It's cool that it still has the old school way of programming it, which is cool.
That's where a lot of the charm came from.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they were just fun to program. So let's go in and add some accents and some slides to it. So we'll go back into pitch mode and use the right next button and go through all the steps. Just cycle back around. So in the first one, we'll put an accent. All right, so you got to hold down the step while you put in the accent. So it's like the 303. So go to the next one, hold down, we'll do 2 accents, and we'll do an octave up, slide it, do another accent, do an octave down, slide it, accent, accent, up, and accent, slide, accent, up, slide, accent, accent. All right,
so let me guess, you've programmed a TB303 before?
Once or twice. All right, so slow the tempo down a little bit. So we hit the tempo button.
Sounds good.
So that's right now it's in the square wave form. It's a sawtooth. And something they've added in here is a distortion. It's got an overdrive and a delay in it.
So right up here at the top, if you could see that on the camera, overdrive, and then you have your delay with your time and feedback.
All right, so let's have a quick listen to the distortion. I'm gonna put it back on the square wave. It's my personal.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you kind of get that kind of hollow texture out of it, which is it's very mid-range
Yeah.
distortion.
It almost seems like it
Well, it's an overdrive, it's not a distortion, so it's like
seems like it cuts off a little bit of the low end when you engage it. See? I mean, it could be a measure too to prevent it from like clipping or something like that.
it could be.
The low end.
You know, but for an overdrive, I think it's pretty on the high. I would like to, nothing that a Boss DS1 won't fix.
Oh yeah, man. Those are still great.
And so let's have a listen. We'll take the overdrive off. Let's have a listen to the delay here. So I'm going to turn up the feedback. So this kind of sounds like a tape delay.
Yeah, that's immediately what I was thinking. Is very kind of RE201.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see if
I
we can
could-
automate this stuff.
What if there's like an automatic tempo sync to it? Because that, I mean, you could go mad,
Trying to get it,
dialing
yeah, trying to
delays,
dial it in.
especially tape delays and stuff.
The cinematic and ambient glitch guys are gonna like
Yeah.
definitely get a kick out of this.
I mean, it's got nitrous written all over it. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. I would love to see if there's going to be some other tempo sync stuff. So it looks like you've got your track, your track play. You've got all your track and pattern groups. Let's see if the tuning does. Okay, octave up, octave down.
So 12 semitones up and down.
That's cool. It's got a center detent on it for the tuning. None of the other knobs are detented like that. So it's got a center. You can feel it.
So it locks in, so you're center tuned.
Because
That's
that was
cool.
that was one of the worst things. Like we
Yeah.
would be rocking a 303, and we would grab the tune knob by accident,
And
just
then
wow, and it just ruined it. And we would spend the rest of the time trying to get the damn thing in tune. Because before a show, we would always take the 303s and get a guitar tuner and tune them up. But some guys got to the point where they just started taking the tune knobs off. And I was always too paranoid because I didn't want to lose the tune knob. So
Right.
but that's pretty interesting.
The knobs feel pretty cool.
It's
not metal. They're definitely plastic.
Yeah, but I mean, they feel solid.
Again,
know?
if you got Megan Fox fingers, you might have a little bit of an issue, but
Yeah.
use your pinky or something like that if you need
But
to.
yeah, I mean, they click hard. The buttons feel solid. It's metal again, and
And it just looks cool.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
it looks like the original TB303, which
All
I
right.
think is great. So we have one more thing that we want to show you.
Yes.
So
all
we're
right.
gonna just bring it right in and
So this is my 303. It's a pretty one. This one was actually I got rid of the ones I toured with a lot in the 90s, but I bought this from a friend of mine, and he's the guy who actually built the engine sequencer, and he also does the Quicksilver mods for the 303s and stuff. So he puts MIDI on them and he reprograms the CPUs. But this one's stock, and let's program the same pattern into it and have it do a quick little comparison.
and,
Now,
and in no way we're not trying to like say this is better than that one. We just want to see like how close it can get to it. I think so
So
far
far,
it sounds pretty good.
so far it is not.
And
broken.
you're more of a hardcore 303 guy, so
So I'm going to go in here, and again, it programs just like a regular 303. So I'm going to bank 1, pattern right, pattern 1, clear the pattern so I don't have anything, and I'm just going to program 16th notes like I did. 2, 3. Oops, I got to go back. I've already messed it up. Back here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, so then I'm just going to step through all of that. Okay. So we're going to put the as close as possible. So let's do the same thing on this one. We'll go to bank one, pattern right, and I'm going to clear this pattern. And I'm going to do F. I'm going to back to pitch mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Go and just put in all 16th notes. Phasing. So that filter's, that's a little brighter.
Right there.
That's and again, like I've gone in and I've kind of tweaked this filter a little bit to my liking, because you can go in and, like, all the 303s, I've had I think 4 or 5 of them, and they've all sounded different.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to the filter, this I've kind of dialed it in to be more like the filter from another 303 that I had that I really liked. So
that right there, we have to account.
Yeah.
Give it a little bit of leeway with that.
So let's check out. I mean, that's pretty close there. I think the original might have a little bit more on the low end.
Yeah.
But
as you start to close the filter on here, it starts to kind of compensate for that a little bit. At least that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So let's take up the filters a bit here and. So let's do the envelope mods all the way up. So this one's a bit chirpier. Turn the envelope, the cutoff all the way down, so the envelope is modulating everything. We'll put the resonance all the way up on both of them.
That's different.
So this has got. And I think this one's just a little bit louder.
So right now this is the TB03 playing. TB303.
Again, it's, this one has been tweaked a little bit.
Right.
But, if you've got 2 of them right next to each other, I think one of the things that I'm noticing right off the bat is the pitch is really stable on this. Because 303, like 303s can be kind of wonky, and again, it's the tuning can be kind of problematic on these. But I think right off the bat, they're close.
They're close. The original TB303 to my ears has a little bit more of the low end. And again, that waveform at certain points where you have the cutoff, definitely has a different tone to it.
Yeah, the resonance is a bit different. But again, you get 10 303s that they will all sound different. So let's add in. So I'm going to go through these and let's add in some pitch variations to it. Let's go back to pitch mode. First one, we're going to do an octave up with an accent, and then second one, we're going to slide, and then we'll add
You remember all that?
in. No,
This one?
I won't. All right. So let's go to here, go back to pitch mode. Then we do an octave up to start.
Accent and slide.
Accent, slide.
So there's more of a glide on the original TB303 for sure.
It's a little wigglier.
Yeah, it's got
like,
that
it's a
real
little slick.
like that gluey, you know, kind of thing.
You know, because I mean, one of the things that I do find interesting about this is that, I mean, it's close, and again, let's be realistic here. The price differences between these things.
Yeah, that's where we really have to take it back down. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean-
to get a mint condition TB303 is in excess of $3,000.
Yeah, they're getting back up there.
I've seen some almost hitting $4,000, like that are like really, really good condition.
Well, I mean, this one would probably get there, but I think that a lot of, you know, my older ones, I mean, like the paint has been worn off around the knobs, and you can't really see what the hell it does, but you know, they definitely get looser, and they kind of have a more organic feel to it. But since this is all software, and this ACB, I'm willing to bet that there's going to be more versions of this coming out, because like I wouldn't be shocked if there's to be like a Devilfish version.
It's very
know.
possible. I mean, I was told, you know, from our friends at Roland that there are some updates coming, obviously, to add some more things to it. So, you know, again, it could be some stuff that's maybe hasn't been implemented just yet. You know, it's not uncommon, you know, with Roland when they have the prototypes and the first set of, you know, products and everything, that it's not 100% complete yet, and that's not a bad thing. It's just the guys are developing, and they're still developing the software, but they're trying to get it out on time, and then there'll be an update that will add some additional features, and you know. So again, I think I'm in 100% you know agreeance with you in that we'll probably see some updates, you know, for this, some firmware updates that will probably add a couple of features and things, and maybe some things that will tweak the overdrive a little bit, you know, a certain way. It's all possible.
I'm willing to bet, you know, if we cracked open the manual, because there are different delay times and stuff that you can do, like in the JUSX and some of the other effects. I'm willing to bet that same feature is in here, where it's got a digital delay locked into it. Again, we haven't cracked open the manual because we wanted to see if, you know, if
coming
people,
straightforward and
yeah, I mean, if
playing
you
with
knew
it.
the originals, could you immediately start programming these? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
There's nothing, you know, other than, you know, a few things a little out of place here, like the tempo button on the Real 303. You've got a tempo knob over here, so that's a bit different. The waveform selector is right there in the front, and it's on the back out here. The CV and gates are up on the top, and the thing that I do like about this is it's got a trigger in. Which is pretty happening. So, you know, one of my favorite things to do is actually take the CV gate out of this 303 and then plug it into a 101 or something else. We've got another 202 and some other things. But that's one of my favorite things, is using the 303 sequencer to drive other stuff. And that's 90% of this is the sequencer in it. And you know, the sound obviously, but you can cop different, you know, 303 kind of tones from other gear, but the sequencer is what makes this really magical. It looks like they've done a pretty good job of porting it over.
So what's your overall summary?
My overall summary is, I think, you know, for the money, nothing else touches it. You know, I think it's got a lot of potential, and I think, like anything, you know, once you're done processing it and you know, putting it in a mix, you'll be fine. But the fun factor is still there. You know?
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things is it fun? Is it fun to play with? Can you get close to the sound? And is it an affordable price range that most people can get into? And the answer is yes to all of that.
Yes.
It's fun. It's built pretty well. You know, it's got some really cool features. It's pretty true to the original in terms of how you program it. And again, the price point, you really just can't beat it. There's a lot of TB303 clones out there, but you're looking in excess of $800 to $1,000 to $1,200 US dollars for one of those good clones. If you want an original TB303, you're looking at $3,000 and up. You know, and they vary depending on how well they've been kept or whatnot. So I think, you know, again, with the TB03 and the boutique line, again, you're looking under $400. And you pretty much have all of the functionality there. The sound is there. And I think, again, like you said, once you get it into the mix and you're processing things, you know, I think it's going to do the job just fine. You have the CV gate and trigger ins. It's going to make it more interesting for guys with modules and, you know, tying this all in with that stuff. So
yeah, and I bet it's going to be, you know, a bit more reliable. And I can, you know, I would definitely even some of the clones, I would take this over some of the clones.
Oh yeah, and you definitely don't have to have your guitar tuner.
No,
with you.
no. That's just that's always, you know, frustrating. But I think I mean, congratulations, Roland. I mean, you did a good job, and this is a product that we were wanting for a long time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you know, it's not analog; it is digital.
Yes.
But I think
uses the again the ACB technology, the analog circuit board modeling.
Yeah, and there's nothing else on the market even close to this.
Yeah, and honestly, like, you know, people are asking, well, what's the difference with, you know, the IRA line with the TB3? And I got to tell you, I think this TB03 smokes the TB3 on the IRA line.
Well,
in tone.
Yeah, again, I think, you know,
there's a difference. I think
when they went through the process of the Era line and they wanted to like kind of reimagine a few things.
Yeah.
I think they did. I think they nailed it with the TR8, with the way the
Yeah.
effects are in there and the way they've kind of integrated it. It feels comfortable, but it's got some new stuff. On the TB3, I think they reimagined a little too much. And
because it really, like, it didn't give you any it didn't have any resemblance at all.
Not
you know,
really,
to
no.
the TB303. It was really far off. At least with the TR8, immediately you saw the color, you know, pads and everything, and it had that look, you know, so it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
With the TB3, I was like,
yeah, I remember.
far off.
Yeah, I remember the first time seeing it.
I know. We were both looking at it like,
But this
is good.
This is good.
Yeah, this is what it should have been, and you know, hey, they did it. It's here. Again, it'll be available at the end of September. So you'll be able to purchase one. Again, we don't have exact map pricing on that just yet, but it will be available at the end of September, which is great. So overall, again, congratulations, Roland. Really good job on this. I'm sure there's more updates to come with it. Make sure you stay subscribed to the ADSR YouTube channel because we do have another video coming with another cool product that they just sent us, and that'll be up next. Yay!
Something very cool. Awesome.
So
thanks
thanks
so much
for watching.